You can be competitive against yourself, but Chase would never leave a man behind. You come across somebody that's struggling, you need to help that person.
Yeah.
And you need to help that person get across that finish line, because that is going to feel so much better than beating that person because they were struggling.
So if you're seeing me struggle at mile 20,
we'll be at mile 21 and we will cheer you on.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you so much for having me in your home. It's a beautiful home.
Thank you.
This is the home you've always had, right?
Yeah.
This is the family house. How many years?
31 in February, this past February.
Wow.
Yeah.
And as you guys can see, one of my questions was going to be, how do you keep Chase alive with you? And on every single corner and every single wall, there's Chase.
Yeah, there's always a piece of him around somewhere, inside, outside. Yeah, he dabbled in pretty much anything and everything you could imagine.
Okay.
He liked to garden outside. He liked
Really?
he liked to help the neighbors pick up sticks. I mean, from, something as simple as that to doing a triathlon.
We're going to get into everything. There's so much behind this story, and I'll tell you guys why I just immediately felt drawn. But, well, no, I'll get into that first.
Yeah, I want to know why you wanted to be here and what made you decide CMAK was the charity of choice for you to do your marathon. And before that, have you ever done a marathon? I forgot. Okay.
No.
So.
Tables are turning.
Yeah, right?
I'm in the hot seat. Why don't I rewind and tell you guys where I am?
Yeah, that might help.
Welcome back to another episode of Good Stories. And today we have a story that will probably go through all of the emotions. But right now I'm in the childhood home of Chase Kowalski. Mm-hmm. Kowalski, not Kowalski.
Yeah, like the penguin in Madagascar. Kowalski.
It's so cute.
Yep.
So I'm in the childhood home of Chase, and Chase was 7 years old when he was tragically killed in the Sandy Hook elementary school shooting. When I tell people this story, they get so sad. And I say, oh, yeah, it's sad, but it's inspiring. What you guys have done from there, their line is turning tragedy into triumph. And truly, there's no greater epitome of that than just seeing your home and seeing what you guys do and seeing the kids, just the brief stories you've told me already. When I talk about Chase, when I talk about what you guys do, it makes me smile. It makes me energetic. It's not something that's sad and heavy, even though that was the cause of it. The way you guys even honor Chase, it's like he's truly a part of your life still in every way, and it's so beautiful. So, I'm running a marathon. I'm running the New York City Marathon. Why I'm doing that? I just woke up crazy one day. But you can either do the New York City Marathon. Everybody around the world wants to do it. So it's highly selective. So you can either do a series of races in New York to qualify for the marathon, or you could run under a charity, which is on par with, I think, college applications. I found a spreadsheet of almost 500 charities.
Oh, okay.
And I went through every single one. It would list the name, and then it would list a brief bio and the website link. So this took me days to do. And around the 450th
It was that deep.
It was deep.
Yeah.
There were other charities I had already fallen in love with. I really liked, and
So did you have like a rolling list?
yeah, I had a spreadsheet that I marked in priority.
Okay.
And you send in applications for these, and the applications are, a series of questions saying, why do you want to run? And some of them get like pretty deep. And it just said CMAK Foundation on this spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
So then I clicked on that, just not even knowing what it was. And before I knew anything about it, the moment I saw Chase's picture on the website, I was immediately drawn to it.
Okay.
It was a picture. I'll throw it up on screen, but if you're just listening, it's a picture of him holding up his hands in a heart sign over his face, and it's just the cutest, sweetest picture. And I said, I don't care what this is. I need to run with them. And then I read about it. The line immediately after was Sandy Hook Memorial, and my heart just dropped. And immediate thought process then was, this is going to be so depressing.
Oh.
And this is going to be sad. But the fact that your entire focus is on community and strengthening community, and there's a line your husband said, you can hate. It's so easy to hate. There's so much hate that you could have, but hate doesn't help anyone.
Right.
And the fact that you guys instead are doing so much in your community and honoring Chase in a way that I think he would have loved it. I went to my mom and sister. I was in the office. I said, I found a charity. I must run with them. I think Brittany thought I was stalking her. Brittany is Chase's sister, and I sent an application. I sent an email saying, hi, I just sent in my application. I really want to run with you guys. And then I think I followed up probably like 2 weeks later, because also other charities would say, you got accepted. You have 48 hours. So I said, I don't care. I'm waiting until I hear back. And I said, okay, patience, Lexie. And then I was like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. It doesn't really matter. I was like, no, it does matter. And then got a call from Brittany saying, hi, it's Brittany from CMAK Foundation. Just wanted to say you got it. I was like, oh my God. I was so excited. Yeah, it was just a moment where the moment I saw him and found out what you guys were doing, I felt so called to it. So...
Well, sometimes I think Chase picks you. You went through 450 out of 500, and then as soon as you saw him, you were like, that's the one.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Thank you. And
That's
thank
so
you for
exciting.
having me in your home. After this, we'll also see the Sandy Hook Memorial. But why don't we move on to you and to your family?
Right.
And tell me about Chase.
Well, geez. I mean, he was a spunky little boy. He was the third of our 3 children.
What are the age differences?
Brittany is 7 years older than him, right? Because Chase would be 20.
Yeah.
20 this year. So Brittany's 27. So so there's 7 years between her and Chase, and then Erin, who you met, is our middle child, and she is going to be 24 in September. When we found out we were pregnant and we were going to have a boy, we told the girls, and they were like, don't bring him home. We don't want a boy. And I was...
poor husband.
Yeah, I was ecstatic. Oh, he didn't care what the girls thought.
Okay.
I was ecstatic. I
He
wanted
was the only
a boy.
man in the house at the time. He needed some
little
non-feminine
testosterone.
energy.
And we brought him home, and the girls, I think, were on the swing set, and we had him in his little bucket, and we plunked him down, and they came over, and they looked at him, and they're like... He's kind of cute. We'll keep him.
That's so
and
cute.
that from then on, they just loved him to pieces.
Aww.
Yeah. So the girls had to share a bedroom while he was the king and had his own little nursery for
I
a
would have been
little
upset
while.
over the demotion.
Yeah.
Who does this kid think he is?
Yeah. No, we gave him bunk beds. Yeah. It was in this room. The girls were in this room.
Did you have the bottom bunk?
No.
What? The older sister?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're nice. What's something about Chase that sticks out to you?
Just that everybody enjoyed him. He was just a sweet little boy, and everybody loved to be with him no matter what. We had friends that would, hey, you guys want to go out? We'll take Chase, People would definitely want to babysit him and stuff. Yeah, it was kind of fun. So but yeah, he was a love and loved by all.
And Brittany, you were 14 then. You're 7 years older than him, right?
Yeah.
So what's one of your favorite memories?
Oh my gosh, we used to play like Just Dance in the sunroom.
So cute.
And it being that he did everything, it was there was nothing he wouldn't do. We would dress him up. He was so much fun because he was just always constantly doing stuff. But the photo that drew you in is actually a photo I took. So we used to do photo shoots all the time. And because I was really big in America's Next Top Model. I loved watching it. So I was like, you know what? If they can do it on TV, I'm going to do it. So I made Erin and Chase compete. And so I would be like, okay, this is the pose that you need to do. Or like, this is the area we're going to be in. Use what you can, and whoever gets the best photo wins.
They'd come out of their rooms, they'd come down the runway, and at the end into the kitchen, that's where Brittany was, and then they'd have to strike a pose. And that was
So we'd
whatever
do that.
pose.
We'd be outside doing it. It was. But the most photos that we have is because either I always had my camera with me or my mom had her camera.
Yeah.
So like it was it was perfect that I got that photo of Chase, not knowing that years later we'd use it for the foundation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is now my full-time job. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy how full circle it's
It's crazy how America's Next Top Model can just
really.
If you're a kid and there's a long hallway and it doesn't turn into a runway, you're not living your childhood right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not in this house, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was always.
I love that you're like, I was super into America's Next Top Model, so naturally Chase was also.
Yes.
Naturally he was a model.
Yes. Yeah. Model.
And their friends.
And their friends. Yeah.
And their friends.
Oh.
And their friends.
Wasn't there a story in he was on vacation with another kid or something maybe? Am I making something up? Where
I think you might be.
Okay, that's good.
I can't remember.
But that's
I read
okay.
it on the web. Oh, was the kid moving or something? And he like shared a trophy?
Oh, it was, yes. So that was the Lego story. We were down in Florida.
Yes.
We were down in Florida.
All right. I'm not crazy. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, like you said, there's so many stories. So we were down in Disney. We were at one of Chase's friends from preschools was there at the same time. They had a little brother. Chase and him started talking. There was a little race car track. So they had to build a race car and then race it down this track. And then if you win, you had to win 3 times. And then you got like a little Lego guy. But you got this little Lego guy. So they won 3 times. And then that other little boy had to leave. So Chase said, here, you take the little Lego guy. I'm going to stay and try to get one for myself. And then he made a new one, raced it 3 times and won.
Wow.
Yep. So that was just who he was.
That's so
You know, he would always, help somebody out or, was just a good-hearted person.
Are there any sort of quirky little habits that Chase has that still sticks with you?
He would practically put himself to bed. Like 8 o'clock, all right, I'm done. And he'd go lay down in his bed or grab me and read me a story. I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
So he definitely had an agenda of, what he was going to get done for the day, how he was going to go about it. And
Even when he was a kid?
When he was little.
Yeah.
And I think the funniest story we have with him is walking in CVS, and he took off down an aisle, and the girls had to go on opposite aisles so we could try and corral him because he was a very fast runner at even a little, at 3 years old, not even 2 years old.
Oh, the puppy backpack.
Yeah, so I had to literally put a little puppy backpack on him with a leash because he would just run and we couldn't catch him. So we, if we took him out, he was on a leash. I'm sure people would be appalled by it, but I mean, and I remember looking at people before I had a fast little boy and was like totally judging them, and then I was like, oh my God, now I get it.
Yeah. Because
you want them to be safe, but you want them to be independent. So he had a puppy backpack, and I was just like, if people looked at me funny, I was like, you catch him. You try and catch this little boy because I can't, and I'm not going to let him get hurt.
That's so funny.
So yeah, so that's one of his fun stories that make you laugh.
And he was always fast. And
Always.
Liked the outdoors.
Loved outside. He loved everything. I mean, you can't even pinpoint exactly what his favorite was because he enjoyed everything.
Yeah.
It was whatever was at that moment, and he just was in the moment doing his thing and enjoying it.
Was that a surprise to you? Like, what were one of the big surprises about him compared to your girls?
I don't know. I had 2 girls, so anything a boy did was a surprise to me, I mean, Chase rode a pink tricycle because that's what we had from the girls. And he didn't care.
Yeah.
So
a good
he was
natured
just
boy.
so easygoing. Yeah.
That's nice.
And people would say, oh, it's the 3rd child.
Yeah.
They have to be.
Especially with 2 sisters.
Yeah. Yep.
Making you do a runway.
Yeah.
Like you had.
Yeah.
It could go one of 2 ways. Was he late to talking?
Yes.
Yeah. So he
I
had
was
2
too.
sisters that could speak for him. So
I can imagine.
Yeah. So it wasn't until he was probably around 2, maybe 1.5. I don't know. The doctor was like, he should be having more words or whatever. And I was like, oh, his sisters talk for him. And then as he was getting a little bit older, I was like, oh, okay, something's going on. So then we had like Birth to 3 come out, which is an organization that kind of does tests. And they tested him to see if he was on the spectrum or if there was any issues like that. And he was off the charts on all of that. He was very bright and had no issues, just a delayed speech.
Yeah.
So he didn't qualify for services. So then we signed him up for speech therapy. The more he did it, the better he got. And then he went to preschool and he still struggled a little bit, but his friends kind of figured out ways. And then the more time he spent with his friends, the better his vocabulary became. And then he kind of, started making faster progress. And then I think the biggest jump for him was his self-esteem just blew up when he did his triathlon.
Was it a surprise in the household when suddenly he was yapping too?
No, he kind of, at our house, you either speak up or get lost.
They were talking.
You have to hold your own. But yeah, I mean, at one point, he and I had our own language because Brittany was in the elementary school, Aaron was in preschool, and I was home with him by myself. So we figured it out. But I mean, ultimately, I didn't put him in a box. I didn't say, he needed services. So I found what he needed and we helped him. There's no shame in that. There's no, stigma in my mind. There's an issue, you got to fix it. And you do whatever you need to do to fix it. So that's what we did.
When did Chase run his triathlon and how did that come about? How does a kid just decide?
Chase came in one night and said, Mama, I want to do that thing where you swim, bike, and run. And I laughed at him and I was like, dude, that's a triathlon and you're 6. Like, it's not going to happen. And he handed me an iPad and he said, Google it. But if you roll back a little bit, he was swimming and he was doing freestyle. And I was like, and he had his life jacket on. And I was like, where did you learn to freestyle? And he's like, oh, the boys on the TV. Well, 2012 was the Summer Olympics, I believe, in London.
Okay.
So Ryan Lochte and Michael Phelps were swimming. He would come in from doing whatever outside, sit, get his healthy or bad snack, watch TV, and watch the Olympics.
You're like, that's how you swim.
And that's how you swim.
Fan of the Olympics.
Yeah.
My favorite pictures of Chase is him running, and when I'm running, I just imagine him with his little arms and legs and his tongue sticking out, his brows knitted in concentration, and he's just so dedicated and passionate. It's just so cute.
Yeah,
and
very
he had
intense.
great form. Like,
he did.
Perpendicular legs. I'm like, Tom Cruise would be so proud of this kid.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. No matter what he did it to the best of his ability and was like stellar in everything.
Did you guys encourage him to do this, or did he just come out the womb like, I'm
No.
gonna
No. In my heart of hearts, I feel that he knew his time here on earth was going to be short. And he wanted to do everything he could possibly do in that time. Yeah. And that's what he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
He lived life to the fullest. You could tell
Absolutely.
from the pictures he loved life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then,
you have that when you come from a good family that just loves you and supports you. And I can tell just from the brief time I've been here with you guys, he was absolutely loved and encouraged and supported.
Oh, absolutely. Well, except when when he said he wanted to do triathlon, and I was like, "Are you out of your mind?"
So how did you end up saying yes?
So I said, "You're 6. It's a triathlon. It's not going to happen." And he handed me the iPad, said, Google it. I Googled it. There was one like 2 weeks later in Manchester, Connecticut, which is like a hop, skip, and a plane ride, like an hour and a half or so from our house.
Okay.
And it started at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, dude, you're going to have to be up at like 5 in the morning. Like, it's so early. And he was like, that's okay, Mommy. And I was like, oh my God, really? And then I looked at my husband, and then I looked. So you had to pay registration, which was like $35.
Yeah.
Then you had to get a USAT membership, which was like
Oh my gosh.
$15 because I think it was a.
He's like, that's okay, Mommy. You
Yeah,
got it.
yeah. He was like, So I said to my husband, I'm like, by the time I'm done with this, I'm at like $50. And he's like, listen, if he wants to do it, let him do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, you're getting up and coming with us. And he's like, it's fine. So my husband took his little Lightning McQueen bike and dialed it in, cleaned the chain, and put everything together. We quickly learned about triathlon, and he almost got taken out by a kid with training wheels, but because was a really good bike rider, he was able to scoot around the kid.
Wheels?
No training wheels.
Wow.
No, he was doing jumps on his bicycle. And Aaron and I were trying to get to the finish line before him, but he was so fast that he caught up to us, and then he kind of was like, oh, I think I'm done. And we're like, no, the finish line's like way over there.
Yeah.
And he's kind of walking, and then Aaron said to him, I'm going to beat you to the finish line. And he was like, that's all he needed. And he was like, oh, no, you're not. This is my race. And he took off, and he was competing in the 4 to 6 year olds.
Yeah.
That was his age bracket, and he won.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he had 2 weeks to practice for this.
Yeah, I mean, he'd been practicing all summer. He just didn't know it.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Speaking of practice, how's your marathon training?
We don't
going?
need to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Every single time I've run, there's been some sort of natural disaster.
Oh, no.
Day 1 of marathon training could not be going worse. And it's getting worse. It has to go today. I'm freezing and everything burns. That was day 1 of marathon training. We'll see.
Wow.
But yeah, it's been, it's
Now, do you have an
running.
actual plan?
Yeah, I ChatGPT'd one.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah.
I think I will get a coach.
Okay.
Maybe in Dallas, just to like meet with a couple times, work on my form, and we'll see.
The different boroughs have music, and I mean
That's
the
nice.
streets are just lined,
That's
and
nice.
it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I don't, in my mind, think I'm running a marathon.
Oh, good.
I'm just running, but I'm not going to run a marathon.
But then, I mean-
it's just not. Anytime I think that, wow, I'm going to run 26.2. I just recently learned it's 0.25 miles, and I bet you at that point it will matter to me.
Oh, it's gonna matter because
It's gonna matter.
when you're coming through Central Park,
Yeah.
because the way they loop you around,
Yeah.
you're probably gonna do like 27 miles.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Don't tell me anything. In my mind, I can run a mile. So I'm just going to run 1 mile 26 times.
There you go. Listen,
Apparently 27 times.
but I mean, to be honest, that's a great way to think about
Yeah.
it. You keep plugging away like that, and it's doable.
I actually don't know how to ride a bike or swim that well. So I've also made it part of my marathon training. I will learn how to do both
Okay.
in honor of Chase.
All
If
right.
all of these kids can do it, I can do it. I learned how to ride a bike when I was a little kid. But when they say it's just like riding a bike, like
comes back.
it hasn't for me.
No?
Each time I get on, it just like tilts to the side. And swimming, my friends will laugh at me when I swim. One, I don't float. Apparently, it's a thing that most people can. Everyone can float, really, but my family will like turn me on my back, and I just can't. I just immediately sink. Something
that's
about my
funny.
center of mass. And then when I swim, I do a doggy
paddle?
But when I was little, I did swimming lessons and for a summer and got the certificate and everything. But that one's not like riding a bike either. That one
Yeah,
did not stick.
it's tough.
So that's gonna be some fun content to take. Do you think Chase would have run a marathon?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would definitely have
He did a
continued with
triathlon by
triathlon.
6.
Yeah. So we started the foundation in 2013, but we didn't start the actual programs and the triathlons until 2014.
You started that soon?
Yeah. Yeah. Right after he passed.
That's crazy.
And I think by January, we had decided that we were going to do the foundation. We didn't know what it was going to be.
Yeah.
When Chase passed, I mean, if there wasn't 100 people from our school, because Stephen and I went to high school together.
Okay.
He was
wow.
Yeah, he was a senior. I was a freshman. We didn't date in high school.
Yeah.
But we have those 4 years of friends.
Yeah.
In between us, and so
Did you both stay in the area after?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean,
how long have you been together?
We'll be married 31 years in July. Yeah. So, and
That's
then
incredible. What's the
a year and a
secret?
half before that. Oh, what's the secret? I don't know. Don't kill each other. I don't know. I think we're just. I mean, originally, when I was dating him, he was a really nice guy, and I was like, "Oh, this is great."
Nice.
Yeah, and then I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, he's too nice," and I was like, "I think I'm gonna break up with him." I told one of my friends, and then he sent me flowers to work, and I was like, "I can't break up with him now."
I guess I'll
And
keep him around.
well, and I was like, I'll give him another week.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, within that week, I think God said he's the one, and I fell in love with him within that week. And then I was like, okay, I guess we're not breaking up.
Within that week, you fell in love. Was
Within
he
that
already
week.
there?
Yeah, he
already
was.
left?
Yeah.
That's as it
Come on.
as it should be.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
They need to just be just a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and then
I'm glad you grew to like that and not like, oh, he needs to be more mean.
oh God, no. Nobody ever wants a mean boyfriend.
Can you explain the dragonflies?
So yeah, we're the
I just
crazy.
noticed that on there's a really pretty dragonfly on the curtains.
So we are the crazy dragonfly family. I think it was just, if you know the legend of the dragonfly, they have an extra set of wings to carry the souls of loved ones, and you can send a message to them on the wings of a dragonfly. So we started doing the triathlons, and like a swarm of dragonflies were just there. And I thought, oh my God, you just felt like that was Chase.
Oh.
And we were like, that's Chase and his friends coming to see the triathlon. And it kind of stuck. And then people started, I'm a big believer in signs. And when I was struggling or whatever, I would, like, Chase, I need a sign, honey. Where are you? I need a little love or whatnot. And I would get a rainbow, or I would get a dragonfly. And then the kids in the programs, like dragonflies were coming around at the programs, and I've got pictures of them landing on the kids' fingers. So now the kids are like, oh, Chase is practicing with us. And, so it's all just have evolved. So anytime we can find a dragonfly, we collect them now.
I love that. The root of it, the source of it is so much sadness and pain, but you smile about it now. You like envelop your home in that signs of Chase, and like it doesn't feel heavy and dark. It feels very light and open. And it's like you want to talk about Chase. You want people to know about him.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even from the very beginning, I shared how amazing he was and the things that he did, and I think people needed that because it was such a dark tragedy.
Yeah.
But he kind of like wanted you to know that like he's in a good place, like he's seated next to God, and that they will help you, kind of navigate grief, navigate your life, and find good. All of those signs that he just kind of sprinkles in and gives you that feeling that you just know he's with you.
Yeah.
And it's a whisper in your ear to know that, you're going to make it. You're going to get through this, and I'm going to help you.
How do you handle grief at that time when you're so fresh in it?
I don't think you can handle it. I think you're in the first year, you're in a fog. There's no, I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, other than seeing videos of what I did, we had interviews and this, that, and the other thing. I think you're just trying to
and I think it's also
navigate.
Because it's something that you can't even, it's not something you prepare for.
No,
not
at
like
all.
It's not a tragedy in that it's not an illness or something. It's something you don't expect whatsoever.
Well, I mean, I put him on a school bus and I
Yeah.
never saw him again. Yeah.
I feel ashamed too that I didn't remember a single kid's name or a teacher's name from then for so long. I feel like immediately after it became so politicized, and I feel like people just took over the narrative when it should have stayed with the families and the people that happened to it. And since I've learned about your foundation, I've done so much more reading about the families and learning the stories, because those are actual lives that ended and actual lives of families who have to live with that.
How old would you have been?
This was
12 years?
20, yeah.
Oh.
I'm 27.
Oh, so same age. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were 14.
Brittany, I would love to hear your thoughts too on, like, can your mind wrap around something like that at that young of an age? Like, when it was explained to you, you understood what was happening. I don't know if Aaron did.
Yes, because I was in the high school in lockdown. So, like, I was there.
Oh.
I was there, like, knowing what was going on. Everybody, like, we didn't know at the time, but it was.
Did you know that it was real?
Yeah, because
Okay.
we were in it all day, pretty
Got
much. So
And
us
Aaron?
and Aaron was too, because she was in
6th grade.
Yes, so we have
Or
the
fifth.
elementary schools, the intermediate school, middle school, and high school.
Are they connected or on separate?
All
All
separate.
separate campuses.
And we have multiple elementary schools. So we've been in lockdowns before,
Yeah.
but it's lifted usually pretty quickly. Like, we've had somebody tried to rob the bank, and obviously nothing happened. So because we were such a small, farmy kind of town, I think I had to be approaching 15 because I was a freshman in high school. I think if I was not in the middle of it happening, it would be hard to understand, because even though we've seen it before happen
Yeah.
to, older kids,
Yeah.
it's not something that you would expect to happen at an elementary school.
Right.
I thought I mean, when it first happened, I thought it was, somebody was coming after one of the teachers, like a domestic
Did you, like,
or
get
something.
a call? Or you saw it on the news? How did you hear about
I
it?
found out on the news.
That's
I was actually
crazy.
at a kickboxing class in Monroe, and I came out of the class, and then somebody had it on a treadmill, and they said something, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And then my phone was blowing up, like everybody
Did you know
was
which
calling
school
me.
it was? Or you knew it was the elementary school?
I just knew it was the elementary school, and I remember coming down the main road, and there was a police officer that was directing traffic. So I stopped and I said something to him, and he was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I went home. I called a friend of mine, and she said, "Something's going on at the school. My husband's going." I said, "Okay, well, tell him to grab Chase if I don't get there soon enough."
Yeah.
And then when I got there, it was chaotic. It was at the fire department, because there was a fire department that was down the
Okay.
road from the elementary school. And then I saw another friend who Chase was really tight with, Henry's mom, Lisa, and I said, "Oh, have you seen Chase?" Because she had already had her 2 kids. And she's like, "I think I saw him." And I was like, "Oh, okay, perfect." So then it kind of gave me
Really?
the peace. I was like, "Okay, he's fine." And then all of the people started to grab their kids and leave.
Yeah.
And then I still didn't have Chase, and we were still waiting.
You knew at this time it was a shooting? Or you just knew something?
We just knew something. I can't, that's the thing, because you're in like
Blur.
this blur. Yeah, it's kind of craziness. And
Did you find out that day? Or was it like...
oh,
while?
when we were there, I mean, all the families were together, and then at one point, I'm
sorry.
it's okay. At one point, the governor was there, and he said that all of the children that have been reunited with their parents, and we were all sitting there, and we weren't reunited.
Yeah.
And then there was like this big blow up. Everybody freaked out, and then my husband had gotten there, and then we had given descriptions of the kids to the state police.
And then I think at one point Stephen was like, "We know something happened. You know, he's gone." They had reunited. There was 12 kids, I think, that had run. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, Chase is a fast runner. I'm sure he ran." Yeah. You know, he's hiding. Because he didn't like loud noises. Yeah. He never liked firecrackers. So I thought, "Oh shit." He would have gotten out. He would have gotten out, no problem. Right. But unfortunately, he didn't. Yeah.
So sorry. It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Like you said, you put your kid on a bus to something you think is the safest place in the world.
Yeah. Really.
Everyone processes grief very differently.
Like, I would be the one who would need to be around people. My sister would be the one who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
didn't want to. Yeah.
No,
And both are valid.
Yeah.
Well, and at the time, Grandma was living here.
Yeah.
My mom was alive then.
You had a full house.
Yeah. And then the bad part about that is my brother committed suicide years before that, so my mother lost her own son and then her grandson.
Wow.
And he was her only grandson. Yeah.
Yeah. Not only are you navigating the grief of yourself and your husband and your kids, and also it sounds like your kids had two different needs to go through their grief.
Right.
What was that like?
I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
It was a blur.
Her friends are fantastic.
Yeah.
And is that when like community just really came in, or did you need to just rely on yourselves?
Oh God, no. We have.
Community is what started CMAK. Like,
yeah.
My parents didn't go to college, so not to blast on.
Yeah. Thanks, I'm a loser.
But we would not have known how to start any of this. Like, even down, like, we have friends that do graphic design that helped take the photo that we had and turn it into the logo. Beautiful. We had a friend that did, like, publicist stuff and did media training with her. And so the community is what started the foundation and has helped it run.
Right.
Inside of your family, I feel like tragedy can either break apart families or build them stronger. Throughout the years, it's been 13 years?
It'll be 13 years in December.
It ebbs and flows.
Yeah, it ebbs and flows.
We
Yeah,
like
for
each other
sure.
Sometimes, other times there's too much time together and we need to separate for a little bit.
I've had friends, unfortunately, strangely in the past couple of years who've lost parents or siblings. It feels like an impossible situation to just continue with life, but that's...
Well, you have a choice.
Yeah.
You know, you have the choice to wallow and stay with your grief and miss that person and not find joy, or you have the choice to find joy and remember that person and say their name and share who they were and find joy in that.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. That's what we try to do.
Is there something that you don't like hearing or you didn't then, or something that you wish people did more when you lose someone?
Like Brittany said, grief is different for everyone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no way to say to somebody, you know, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I think one of the most profound things that Brittany said to me is that we always have to say his name.
Yeah.
You know, people will be lost in their grief, and it's hard to say somebody's name when they're gone. But, I mean, Chase was named after my brother. My brother's name was Charles. We called him Chuck. And I knew I couldn't name Chase Charles, so I took the letters of his name and played with it until I came up with Chase. Yeah. And I was like, that's the perfect name because it honors my brother, but it's his own. Yeah. So that's how I dealt with my brother's loss. And I have a friend that just lost a cousin, and I think it was very difficult for him, and he struggled. And I just had a conversation with him the other day, and he's, you know, I check in, you know, how's your spirit? How are you doing now? And he's like, you know what? I just made the choice to stop being depressed about it. Like, he wouldn't want me to be depressed. Yeah. And I'm like, you're right. You know, you have the choice. Some days it's really hard, and some days you have to find your own grace and either let yourself wallow in pity for a day, But then tomorrow, the sun's going to come up again.
Yeah.
And you can choose to live, or you can choose to, be stuck.
And I think that's something too, when you're on the outside of someone you love, having lost someone, you kind of walk on eggshells. You don't want to say the person's name. You don't want to remind them.
Right.
And a helpful thing that someone said to me, you're not reminding me. I
Right.
didn't forget.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. So you just saying happy memories of them.
Yeah.
You saying their name, not pretending as if there's some taboo thing
Right.
that I shouldn't talk about.
Right.
When you still bring that person into your space, even though they're not physically here.
Right.
I think that's something that it's important that I've learned.
Yeah, definitely.
And that you embody here so
Yeah.
much.
Well,
It would be impossible to not mention Chase.
I was visiting one of the sites, and Coach Brandon was like, okay, we have time for one more question. What's your question? And the little girl was like, oh, and I was like, sure, what? And she's like, how did Chase die? And I was like, are you? Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, there was part of me that was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
And I just looked at her and I said, you know what? We don't talk about how he died. We talk about how he lived,
Yeah.
and how he was a great friend, and how he inspired Race4Chase.
Yeah.
So
Which brings a good segue.
yeah.
Thank you so much, by the way, for sharing that. Something so heavy and sad. But I think it's important for people to see the personal side to that story.
They see the personal side all the time. Brittany and I are the two criers of the family.
But I think it goes with balance. That's what you kind of do with the emotions when it comes to grief. There's no perfect balance, but if you can have more good days than bad days, then that helps.
That's a win.
Having a bunch of kids do the program with us and seeing them enjoy it and have a blast helps leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And
It's
I think
nice.
It's been over a decade, and you still feel those emotions so deeply. You can bring us right back to that day.
Yeah, I think you'll feel it for the rest of our lives.
But the fact that you are able to, like you said, more good days than bad days.
Yeah.
And when you can bring that person into your life like you do now, I think it's special. So thank you for walking through that. I know it's not easy. But again, it's the quote that you said in an interview, and also your husband saying, it's so easy to hate. There could be so much hate.
Yeah.
You could hate all day.
Yeah.
It doesn't help anyone.
Not at all.
So healing, promoting community, and something that you said that stuck with me too is you said, at the root of this, and this was very graceful and gracious of you, but you said at the root of this tragedy, you think that there's just a flaw in community, like there was a lack of community. And
well, yeah, I wonder, if things could have been different had that boy's mother not worried about the stigmatism, because there's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
And she kept sweeping it under the rug, and she made choices that were so left field, in my opinion, that she ruined it, and she didn't work on what the problem was. She just blamed people.
Yeah.
Like, my feeling is Chase had a problem. I worked on the problem with him.
I was going to say this comes full circle because with his
absolutely,
speech impediment.
absolutely.
You said there's no stigma.
No, you have to just. It sucks, and it's hard, and
Can't
some
put a
people are
Band-Aid
harder.
over.
Yeah, and some people have to deal with it. A speech delay is minute compared to mental health issues.
Yeah.
But you still have to go through the motions of trying anything and everything to help that loved one until they get to a point where they can function.
Yeah.
I don't want to say properly, but function. Just function. And not hurt themselves or not hurt somebody else.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Yeah.
You don't want them to hurt themselves. You don't want them to hurt somebody else.
And
So
the fact that you can sit there, and so soon after too, it seemed that you had this mindset. And I don't mention shooters' names. And I don't want to get into too deeply that side of it. But like you said, that shooter, we know about severe mental health issues that person had, and became totally estranged from everyone.
Yeah.
I read about that person being locked in their room, never seeing someone else, no sunlight ever, and all the warning signs were just ignored.
Exactly.
From so many people on that.
Exactly.
And so I think as we've gotten a lot better, and I think we can
absolutely
still do better on.
Oh, there's more work to be done, for
there's
sure.
more work to be done, but like you said, it starts with the child. Like, you want every kid to be perfect and not have problems, whatever. That's not reality.
Right. Well,
Like,
not in this world right now.
And there's no need to stigmatize problems that kids have. It's not a reflection on you. It's not a reflection on someone else. And I think that is a part of it too.
Oh, yeah.
But the more we talk about things like this and we see the cause and effect, this one, like, you saw beginning, middle, and end to how this tragedy came about.
Absolutely.
When I heard you say that in an interview, I was like, she's far more gracious than I am, because I would be so many more angry, hateful emotions probably. But when you have that mindset of there was a community problem and what could be prevented in the future if we focused more on promoting community, I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's what you did.
That's what we're trying to do.
So walk me through how you got the idea for this.
Well, it wasn't mine.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, Chase came to me in a vision, said, "Mama, we're going to change the world." I had no idea what that meant. He kissed me goodbye and, showed me a lot of crazy stuff in my vision. And then I woke up, I wrote everything down, I shared it with friends, and they were like, "Wow, this is really great." And I think Brittany hit on it before, that so many people were here helping us navigate our grief and whatnot. And when I showed them that letter, they were like, "Oh, okay, this is something. We need to figure this out." And we ended up starting the foundation, getting the people together that were smarter than my husband and I to help us with that. And that's really what happened. It happened at our kitchen table. And
which is, by the way, where all the best ideas happen at
right?
the diner. That's where So Good was started, at the dining room table with us.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so I mean, we just kind of went with it. And then I've always said this, is that Chase is our CEO in the sky, and he always puts the people in our path that are going to help us change the world.
It seemed like all the puzzle pieces just aligned for you.
They do.
When you had that, not to say that starting anything is easy.
Yeah.
And doesn't have its pitfalls, but it seemed like people naturally wanted.
Oh yeah, people absolutely
join.
wanted to help.
So what did the idea start as versus how it's evolved over the years?
I think it started, like, Steven and I talked about it, and we were like, we wanted to do a community center. Mm-hmm. That was like our biggest thing, because Newtown didn't have one. And I thought, okay, if there was something like that available, maybe this tragedy wouldn't have happened. Mm-hmm. So we were thinking brick and mortar. I mean, there was so much money coming in. People just wanted to donate to something. Yeah. So we started the foundation, or we started a fund actually first to collect the money, because we just didn't know what to do. And then we then certain people that they didn't have an agenda. There were people that came to us with agendas, and we pushed those away, like, thanks but no thanks. That's not what we're looking for. I knew I didn't want to get involved in gun violence. I knew I didn't want to do certain things, and I knew that it had to involve family and community, and it was going to be a place where parents had to come and stay with their kids and be involved in whatever we were doing, not a drop-off place.
Like I've seen you say before, you want the parents involved too, not just kids.
Yeah,
you want
absolutely.
Parents to be there encouraging.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't change a child's life 100% unless you have the parents backing them. Yeah. And then you get this other effect where the kids are changing and they're becoming triathletes and they're working really hard, but then you send them home and their parents are giving them Pop-Tarts for breakfast. Yeah. But we've taught them that Pop-Tarts might not be the best choice.
Yeah.
So then they say, Mom, can I get a banana instead? Mm-hmm. And the mom's like, oh, okay. So then the mom feeds the kid a banana, but then the mom's like, maybe I should have a banana instead of that Pop-Tart. So it just starts the process of just changing one or two things, and then it envelops the whole family. So then the kid wants to go out on a bike ride, but mom doesn't bike. Oh, maybe I should get a bike. I used to bike when I was a kid. So then the mom and dad start taking the kids for a bike ride. And then it just evolves. We have some families in Race4Chase that the parents never did a triathlon. Their kids are a triathlete, and now they're like, I want to do that. That looks like so much fun. And one of the families, the mom and the dad do Ironmans together.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, so everything evolves, and it takes on a little bit of a life of its own, because once you start exercising, the endorphins go off in your head, you feel better. Then you're like, oh, well, if I lost 5 pounds, whatever, maybe I'll feel a little bit better. And then you start to walk every day, and you start to get these healthy habits, and then things start to change, and then you're losing 10 pounds, and you're feeling great, and you're spending time with your kids, and it's all about family, and all of those connections make for a happier community, make for a happy family life. And that's what we are ultimately trying to have happen.
Sadness, depression, anxiety, they thrive in isolation.
Absolutely.
And so when you have kids from such a young age, even if you're not specifically addressing mental health, when you can make it fun and engaging, that's where we should be putting that focus, and it makes it lifelong.
Right.
It's not just like, oh, let's lose 10 pounds, let's do a lot of running and not eating as much. Like, you're teaching from a young age nutrition and the importance of moving your body and making it fun and engaging.
Right, exactly. The coaches that we have are amazing. They love the kids.
How do you find them?
They work through the whys, and I think the mission statement of the why aligns with our mission statement of just wanting to have community and family and health and wellness, you know, and that's the key, like-minded people with like-minded people, and then having these kids that didn't have an opportunity to do something like this. But the impact that our camp has on these kids, they start when they can start when they're 6. They can go until they're 12, and then they'll age out. But what we're finding is, as our kids age out, they want to come back and be CITs. They want to come back and they want to be coaches.
So cute.
And they have. I mean, there's one particular family that the little boy started at 6, and he's 18 now, and he's a head coach.
Wow.
When you engage with CMAK Foundation and Race4Chase, you end up being family for life.
That's beautiful. And how has it grown? What did it start out with, and how many kids have you done now?
So the first year we did it, the program, we had 3 sites with 90 kids.
Based in Connecticut?
Based in Connecticut only. They were the 3 YMCAs that kind of surrounded Newtown.
And it's a 6-week program where coaches teach the kids how to bike, swim,
bike, and run.
And nutrition.
Yeah, nutrition. Wellness. Yeah, anything with health and wellness, sportsmanship. We have some kids.
And the families come cheer them on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have some kids that, are very competitive, so we have to explain to them that you can be competitive against yourself.
Yes.
But what you need to know is that Chase would never leave a man behind. Oh. And if you are, if you're doing your best, but you come across somebody that's struggling, you need to help that person.
Yeah.
And you need to help that person get across that finish line, because that is going to feel so much better than beating that person because they were struggling. So that's the kind of thing that I like to, make sure that these kids know.
So if you're seeing me struggle at mile 20...
We'll be at mile 21, and we will cheer you on. Yep.
You better stop and help me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then how many kids now?
And now we've grown to 31 programs in 5 states.
That is insane.
So Connecticut itself will be over 670 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big group.
I didn't know 670. I was like, oh, maybe 600. Oh boy.
Wow.
So
and how does it feel seeing that?
oh, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. And then like you see the last girl coming through the finish line, and you see all the kids high-fiving her and cheering her on. Stuff like that is amazing. Yeah. You know, some kids that have struggled, you know, coming through the finish line last, they'll have their team running behind them, helping them get to that finish line, but then they let that person go through the finish line on their own. That to me is the most important part.
And you've taught, it's hundreds of kids who have learned to swim for the first time, bike for the first time.
I think
Well,
we're at
taking
thousands.
We're over 1,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this year, so 924.
She's got the stats.
Yeah.
She's pulling it up.
I got receipts.
Over 6,220 triathletes through our programs through the years. 924 learned to bike. 1,073 learned to swim.
We partnered with a foundation that does bikes for kids. So anybody who has a bike that they want to donate to Bikes for Kids, they'll drop off. And then they have bike mechanics that'll go through the bike, refurbish it to the best of their ability, and then they save bikes for us for our programs, because we usually take about anywhere from 50 to 100 bikes. The kids use them for the programs, and then if they don't own a bike, they can take that program bike with them,
And they keep going.
and they can keep practicing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
What's another? Can you tell the story that you showed me outside of the kid who's like crying?
Our Newport kid, he was sweet as pie. And he came through the finish line chute and he was just crying like, I'm never going to do this again. It's horrible, which I could totally relate to. And then the following year, his grandmother said to him, hey, they have Race4Chase camp again this year. Do you want to do it? And he was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we were like, when we saw him cross the finish line the next year, we were all like, holy cow, I didn't think he was coming back. And she's like, nope, he was so excited. So he,
cute.
you know, it took him about a year to forget
Yeah.
the pain and
trauma.
the torture and
Yep.
the trauma.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, I want to do it again. Listen, triathlon is not easy.
No.
It's a mind game.
Some of us can do it at 6 years old.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Others don't know how to ride a bike or swim at
Yeah,
27.
others get guilted into it and then keep going. But yeah, so I mean, it's really cool to set a goal and then train for it and complete it.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that. The self-esteem boost that you get from being able to do that is huge.
You said that Chase got a self-esteem boost after his
Absolutely. Oh yeah. The funniest story is he went back to school. They put your numbers on your arm.
triathlon. Okay.
So he had like black Sharpie marker with the number 92 on his arm. And his kindergarten teacher saw him and was like, hey, Chase, hey, you got a smudge on your arm. And he's like, oh, that's not a smudge. That's number 92. That's my triathlon number.
Don't you forget it.
Yeah. And she looked at him and she was like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, I did a triathlon. And she was like, get out.
Yeah.
And she, you know, same reaction. Dude, you're 6. Like,
Yeah.
who does a triathlon at 6? And then he was like, yeah, we checked the stats and I won my age group and blah, blah. And he was just telling her all about it.
So cute.
Yeah. So he was
Yeah,
very
that
proud.
pride,
Oh,
yeah.
so
It
proud.
does wonders.
And it stayed with him. So that was in August. And our neighbor had an open house the weekend before Chase passed.
Okay.
And we brought him with us to the open house and we were telling our neighbor, Kevin, about it. And Kevin has an indoor endless pool. It's an endless pool.
Infinity pool?
Not infinity, it's an endless pool.
Okay.
So it's just for training.
Oh.
So
yeah.
it's
Keeps
only so
going.
big,
Yeah.
but you're swimming into a current.
Right.
So Kevin said to him, oh, we'll get that swim time down, Chase. You can start practicing in my pool. So they started talking about it, and he was like,
Chase
oh,
with
and
his
your
adults?
run. Yeah, yes, exactly.
Talking about his
well,
training.
and Kevin, who was our executive director before, was so impressed by him and was like, okay, so we're going to get your swim time down. I'll help you with the running, because his wife is the running coach for the Bethel track team. And they're like, we'll get your your run time down. We'll get your swim time down, and then you can work on your bike. And they were so excited about it. And then we lost him the next week. And then that because of that conversation, Kevin was so moved by him that he was very instrumental in helping us start the foundation.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, I mean,
It's also beautiful that before he passed,
yeah.
Chase had an effect on a foundation that we started after him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy
He's
that
like, I got you a head start.
Well, and again, it's like I said, he always put the people in place that needed to be in place
Yeah.
for us to do what we do. And like I've said before, when we need something, I'll just say to him, hey, Chase, we need
Get on
swag. Can you help me out?
Yeah.
And I kid you not, I run into somebody or somebody reaches out to us and is like, oh, I have, 50 bikes that we want to donate. Okay. Whatever we need, it happens.
Yeah.
If it's not somebody that I know, then it's somebody that Brittany knows, or it's somebody that knows somebody, or it's somebody that saw his picture that was like, I need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And they everyone makes it all happen.
Yeah.
And that's the magic of Chase. I tell the kids, he's magical.
And I saw the cutest video of a kid pointing up at the sky and saying, I hope Chase is proud of us.
I hope that Chase is watching me from heaven way up there, and I hope that he's very proud.
Yes.
So
Yep.
cute.
Yeah.
Like, these are all your kids.
Yeah.
Just giving
Yeah.
you
6,000 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
like a little
Yeah.
more than I bargained for.
Yep.
It just warms the heart.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah, they
And
really
I
are.
can't strongly enough emphasize that what you and your family have done after the worst tragedy that could possibly befall a family is over 6,000 people.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yep.
And you know that they'll carry that, and it's not just those 6,000 kids, it's their families too.
Oh,
Who
absolutely.
get strengthened. And
I
it's
would love to
incredible.
know how many college essays have
Oh, that's
some component
cute.
of Race4Chase in them.
That's cute. We could keep going for so long.
Yeah, right?
I love chatting with you ladies. I just want to say thank you so much for your time.
Anytime.
And it's such an honor to be able to run for Chase and to share his story. It brings me so much joy every time I get to talk about him, and to be here in his home. And I'm so glad we did it here.
Yeah.
I think there's no other place that would have been more perfect.
I
And
think we do a really nice job of keeping him with us.
if I struggle during this marathon, when I struggle, on mile 20, what are some thoughts that you want me to carry to think about Chase, what he would want us to think about?
Well, I will tell you, all you have to do is get to mile 21, and I'll be there for you.
Okay. You'll
So
be at
that
mile 21?
I will. We stay at mile 21, and we're there to hug you and
Aw.
cheer you as best as you'll let us, because
Yeah.
by mile 21, you're like, I just want to get this shit done.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
very, very excited to just do it. And I think Team Chase is all about conquering your fears and achieving first. And this is a big fear and a big first. So
Absolutely.
There's truly no one else I would rather be doing it alongside. And I already feel like when I have been running and struggling, just imagining Chase running with his little tongue out is just so cute. I'm like, he loved this, and he loved
Yeah.
life and loved the opportunity. So you need to live yours too and take advantage of everything you can.
Exactly.
So why don't you take a moment to look at the camera and say to our lovely viewers, what do you want them to take away from this? How do you want them to get involved?
Well, I mean, you can get involved by just, CMAKfoundation.org. It's, your treasures, your time, or your talent, whatever you can give.
Ooh.
That's all we ask. Just be a good human.
It's pretty solid.
Do the right thing.
Yeah.
And if you have children, hug them, love them, and know that you're being the best parent that you can be.
It's beautiful. You can donate to my fundraiser, which will be in someone's link in bio. It'll be in my link in bio. It'll be on the website of So Good. It'll be in the YouTube channel. Thank you so much.
It was great to
Thank you,
have
Brittany.
you. Oh, I think they're getting me a little swag, a little extra swag.
And thank you guys for listening. I hope you felt all the feels, and now you feel inspired to get more involved in your community, and you're just as inspired as I've been. Thank you.
Thanks. Take care.